Before I start talking about Doom the Dark Ages, I need to first go back to the original Doom released in 1993. As Doom the Dark Ages is a prequel to Doom 2016, director Hugo Martin took this opportunity to go revisit the original Doom game for inspiration. In the original Doom, you moved through hallways and what is now called monster closets. It was a game about managing your ammunition and armor, finding secrets, and destroying everything in your way. At the time, this game was revolutionary in its presentation, and all current first-person shooters can be led back to the Doom franchise. And as you will see, Doom the Dark Ages follows directly in that line of thinking. Find your ammunition and armor, find secrets, and destroy everything in your way. Story has never been an important part of the Doom experience. However, in Doom the Dark Ages, we get more narrative here than ever before. Make no mistake, in Doom, you play as the final boss. Everybody already knows who you are. You are unleashed almost as a last resort, and all of hell is afraid of you. While there is more story here than in previous Doom games, you aren't here for the story primarily, are you? As Hugo mentioned in the Xbox Developer Direct, where Doom Eternal felt like a fighter jet, Doom the Dark Ages will feel like an iron tank, but fast. And I have to agree. One major change here is the addition of the shield. This simple change allows you to take on some of Hell's worst demons head to head, by blocking and eventually throwing your shield. Parrying seems to be all the rage these days in gaming, and Doom is no different. You will want to keep an eye out for any green attacks from demons because if you can time your block properly, you will deflect the damage back at them. Additionally, and arguably most useful, is the addition of a shield charge. With this simple move, you can close the gap to any target with a simple lock-on. This adds a great amount of maneuverability and ability to destroy smaller demons with the blast wave. If you haven't watched the Doom Eternal playthroughs on the Bethesda Softworks YouTube page featuring Hugo Martin, I highly suggest you do so. This series of videos gives great insight on how the game director views game development and the Doom series specifically. Hugo mentions multiple times that these modern monster closets are chess pieces on a board. That is to say that these encounters are puzzles for players to solve. What enemies are present? What is the best way to remove them from the board, and in what order? This is very much present in Doom the Dark Ages. Each battle is engaging. Resource management is important, and how you engage specific enemies is critical. Unlike many other first-person shooters, in Doom, you need to be aggressive to survive. The best way to regain ammo, health, and armor is to destroy demons in spectacular fashion. No turtling and waiting for auto-healing here. Your uncontrollable rage will be your savior. In addition to the frenetic gunplay, there are now 2 additional gameplay types as you progress through the campaign. You can finally enter this giant mech, called an Atlan, in order to take on the giant demons. Additionally, you can also fly on a cybernetic dragon. Both of these sections add a nice break to the combat pacing and require more time dodging rather than parrying. Again, referring back to the Doom Eternal playthrough streams, Hugo mentions the need for these kinds of breaks as it would be easy to get burnt out with the same kind of gunplay for the entire campaign. I find this to be true, especially since some of the on-foot levels are quite large and can take up a bit of time exploring. I found these 2 new gameplay types to be quite enjoyable, but as you might expect, not as enjoyable as shooting demons in the face the traditional way. This game can be quite difficult. I found the difficulty appropriate for me as I played on the console. Your mileage may vary depending on where and how you play. Mouse and keyboard may feel different than being on dual sticks. That's okay though, as Doom Eternal has a wealth of options to give you the ability to modify the game to your personal preference. Secrets are also a major part of this game. You will easily see where nearby secrets are located as long as you continue to check your map. Reaching secrets are usually fun puzzles, which I didn't find too difficult to solve. You will find gold, gems, codex pages, and toys. Gold and gems can be used at shrines to upgrade your guns, shields, or melee weapons. You will get new guns at a fairly frequent clip, and they don't always appear in the same way. You also get multiple versions of the guns as well. For example, you start with a shotgun, but eventually get the super shotgun. You will be able to switch between these two versions of shotguns on the fly in combat. Some of these guns are truly epic in their design. I think we'll be talking about the Pulverizer design for a long time. Throughout the levels, you will also find toy models. I love the thought of the Slayer destroying the demons of hell, but also taking the time to add to his growing toy collection. Codex pages are also a secret item you can find. I just love these. As an artist myself, I just love seeing the concept art or sketches of the weapons, locations, and monsters in the game. More games should do stuff like this. id Tech has always been technically impressive on the visual front. Watching enemies be torn to shreds from my gunfire never gets old. The environments are also amazing to behold with this religious gothic and future tech vibe. The demons' designs are great, as always. As of this recording, there are already a few reviews out on Doom the Dark Ages, and there are some critiques on the audio, especially music. Personally, I am not an audiophile, so I don't have those same criticisms. I thought Finishing Move did a fine job with the soundtrack, though there are some areas where music takes a backseat to the sound effects. I didn't mind this so much. I was usually too preoccupied with shooting demons and trying not to die. Here's a sample clip of one of their songs. I will say though, that I haven't found an equivalent of The Only Thing They Fear Is You on the Doom Eternal soundtrack. I love that song, and it's in regular rotation when I exercise. It's not always easy changing the core gameplay of a beloved franchise, but the people at id Software have done it again. This Doom game is amazing, and I believe it was a great call to return to the classic Doom style for the prequel to Doom 2016. If you enjoy first-person shooters and are in a mood to mow down demons in a wonderfully gory fashion while taking in some truly epic locations and events, then this game is for you.